Normal summon marionetter, moved it, declared effect. All this happened in 2 seconds. Because he felt like today...
What do? You play Floodgates.
Coddy heart.
I understand. I get it. I need to speak his language. We can understand what the player is saying. I understand you now. Chat, do we get started with the calls? Is it now calls time? Holy shit. Hi, Judge. I've been calling you for an hour. My opponent held me hostage for 25-30 minutes for no reason. Then pretend is all good. He asked me to play. I said to him that I would play. But I would pretend he's match lost for taking me hostage. It's not fair. He paused the game for literally no reason for 30 minutes. Then he said emergence. Emergence? Sorry. If you have an emergence, you admitted defeat. You can't make your opponent wait 30 minutes for you. Nobody arrives for an hour. If you check... I said I play, but waiting judge. Holy shit. Oh, and he wasn't done. Only because I didn't waste my time earlier in the game. Now my opponent would win the game. Okay, let's see. At which point did this dude AFK?
What do? You play Floodgates.
So here's what I'm understanding. I think they continued the duel after Blue AFK'd for a very long time. And now Red is losing the match. Now he's attempting to get the win despite having continued the match because his opponent AFK'd for 30 minutes. Now, to be fair... 62-42. Huh? That's when Red... No. Both of you stop. Listen to me. Be quiet. Be quiet. Stop typing. Stop typing. Hands off the keyboard, bucko. Hands off the keyboard! I want to know at what timestamp in the logs did SK93 AFK. Please find that in the logs for me. Simple. 13:59, pause the game. Thank you. See, was that so hard? Red pauses, Blue pauses the game. Resumes at 28:45. Okay. You were AFK for 15 minutes, yeah, 15 minutes. If you have an emergency or something of the sort, you should not pause the duel and leave. You should quit the match, as it isn't fair to make your opponent wait that long. For this, I will be issuing a slow play major game loss. Simple enough, dude. Blue saying thanks. Well, there you go. Game loss for slow play major. Have a nice day. He hit me with the okay. He agreed to proceed. Them agreeing to proceed. Well, there you go. Simple enough. If the opponent agrees to wait, that's one thing. Waiting for him to come back and then Red saying, well, you won't admit defeat. We're going to wait for the judge. Let's play out the game while we wait for the judge to deal with your AFK. That is the correct way to handle it. If your opponent comes back from an AFK, that isn't something that impacts the game state. So on DB, you should continue the duel regardless. And when the judge shows up, they will deal with the AFK appropriately. Simple as that. Red handled it exactly the way he needs to handle it. A speed duel ruling call. I don't know shit about speed duels, but let's give this a try. Hi. Oh no. Oh no. Conclave. Oh no. Chain 1 flip Conclave with effect. Send itself for cost and target Tiger and Suijin. He wants to activate Twister to kill Conclave. Once put in a face-up Crystal Beast monster you control survive battle or card effect special. You can send this face-up card from the field to the graveyard. Then target one Crystal Beast card you control and one card on the field. Conclave sends itself for cost. Therefore, it isn't on the field to be targeted with Twister. Not effect. He's just activating the card by flipping it up. Are you not allowed to do that? You can send this face-up card from the field to the graveyard. Does that have to already be face-up? Probably does. The Conclave was set. You attempted to flip it and use effect in the same activation. It's the same thing as Chuche target itself. Yes, I wrote it. So here's the issue. That effect of Conclave cannot be activated upon the initial activation of Conclave. Conclave must already be face up in order to use that effect. Simple enough. Days ago, another judge said differently in the same scenario. Whoever told you otherwise is wrong. I am right. Please resolve Twister and proceed. Simple enough. Have a nice day. This other teacher told me I can smoke on campus. What the fuck? That is so not comparable. Send it. Let's go. Hi, issue. Dinosaur. Okay, simple enough. Hi, I called because my opponent has done 2 irregular plays during the match. First duel attempt to attack directly with Giant Rex. Now this turn he did Oviraptor normal summon. Then he realized he forgot to activate fields first, so he said it was a misclick to return that play. I asked him to continue while a judge can check, but he refused to play for several minutes. Huh? Normaled Ovi, returned Ovi to hand, said misclick, red said sure. If they returned Ovi to hand, saying it was a misclick, why did you say sure if you disagreed with it being a misclick? I don't understand. I don't get it. Why do people do that? Seems to me like he's trying to get something out of his opponent making an oopsie. Thought it was a misplay, but then he just returned and activate field to then normal summon. That is not a misplay. It was a misplay. What do you mean? Okay. I definitely don't agree with that. So this is the thing. This is the thing that people seem to take into account when considering a misclick versus a misplay. A lot of people feel as though if you make a very obviously incorrect play, it's a misclick. But if you make an action before another that is clearly, you know, explained as having been a misclick,
you play
maybe he misclicked the monster rather than the field spell. It is possible. People go, oh no, well, now if you correct the misclick, you're in a better spot.
What do you do?
It's a misplay, not a misclick.
You play floodgates.
If it makes your play better, they consider it a misplay. If it doesn't change your play at all, they consider it a misclick. But those things, that's not how you define any of those. So here's the thing. It being a superior play doesn't take away the possibility of them having misclicked OV rather than the field. Them making a better play after returning the misclick doesn't change the misclick into a misplay. They said it was a misclick. You allowed them to take back their misclick. If you felt it wasn't a misclick, you'd not have allowed it. I just don't agree with the player here. On DB, if you say something is a misclick and your opponent allows you to take back the misclick, it is a misclick. There's no gray area. So you think it was actually a misclick? What I think isn't important.
You play floodgates.
You both are the players in the duel. One player clarified they misclicked. The other allowed them to take the misclick back. This is very cut and dry. I don't understand. It really does not need to be any more, like, taken seriously than that. You as a judge didn't see the interaction. Has nothing to do with your opinion. No, the opinion matters. The opinion of the judge matters in situations that aren't as cut and dry as this. This specific situation is extremely cut and dry. It's 2 players having properly communicated, and then 1 player, after the communication having happened, felt as though they weren't happy with the result. Have a nice day. Hi, issue. How can I help? It's Altergeist. My opponent is trying to rule Shark. Bro, you've played 1 card. The hell? Red says I will not respond until a judge arrives. Okay, so he resolved Prospe, normaled Marionetter, moved Marionetter from... Okay, he normal summoned Marionetter in the middle column, then moved it from the middle column to the second monster zone. Blue says Red declares effect and says response.
What do you do?
Blue says you summon to the other zone. Red says clearly a misclick. Blue says no. Red says as I immediately corrected it. Blue says you summoned. Red says you can try to judge call. Blue says in the other zone, my friend. Red says you will get a warning for rule sharking. Blue says sure I will, lol. Calls a judge. He says you misplayed, not misclicked. Realized you put it in the wrong zone. Why the fuck does the zone matter here? So here's my question. Why exactly do you feel the zone matters here? If they corrected it in literally 1 second, why would you have an issue with them correcting the zone? To give you an example, exactly what happened. Normal summon Marionetter, moved it, declared effect. All this happened in 2 seconds. Because he felt like, today...
What do? You play floodgates.
Coddy heart.
I understand. I get it. I need to speak his language. We can understand what the player is saying. I understand you now. Because the same thing has happened to me in the past, and I was told when it's summoned, and he plays a link that having a monster where it points to matters on its effect. Well, you see, here they immediately corrected it. Sure, they should have clarified it was a misclick, but it indeed looks like a misclick to me. Next time, clarify before correcting, but here I will allow Marionetter in Monster Zone 2. Anything else? Are we appealing? No, I guess. I am not fully satisfied. Have a nice day.